Good morning, everyone. It's Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today? Wherever you are in the world, a huge shout out to you. Okay, I want to look at the full moon in Libra. For a number of reasons. It's a very rare, what I would consider rare chart in terms that it has a kite pattern composed of a grand trine, a partial grand sextile, and of course this beautiful backbone of the kite, which is the opposition between the moon and the sun. I've got a number of charts there for you, but I'll use the universal time first chart for you to have a look at, and then we'll take a look at the Washington chart. If we have time, Sydney, Australia. So the reasons that this chart stands out to me is because of that kite, very rare, almost like fated pattern there of that kite, but also it contains the moon is at 8 degrees 18, and then if we look over at the sun and a number of other planets forming a stellium are at 8 degrees. So we've got the code here, an 8, repeating 8 pattern. 8, of course, is balance. If you turn the 8 on the side, you've got the symbol of infinity, harmony and balance and flow. But it's also leadership as well. And this is where I think this chart is illustrating that we are at the crossroads in a way in choosing what sort of society we want to be. But also it's fated that we move forward in a way. That's what that chart says to me. So let's take a look and you'll see what I mean here. If I can just share. We'll start with the universal time chart. So you can see the kite pattern here, which is composed of the grand trine. Of course, trines are those harmonious flow between the planets, and we have a partial grand sextile here forming the top of the kite, and we have the backbone, of course, with the moon at 8 degrees 18, and we've got the sun here over here at 8 degrees 18 as well. Now you can see the stellium in this 6th house. In this universal time chart, we have the moon in the 12th house of course, Libra being on the ascendant here. Libra is all about justice. It's all about balance. So to me, the code that is being brought forward here, if you want to talk about karmic codes or these higher vibrational codes, is balance, is justice. But of course, we can't get to that point without the oppositions and the obstacles. So we very much have the feminine energy of the moon, and we have the masculine energy of the sun, and we've got this 8 here, balance, leadership, coming into flow, all in this 6th house with Aries, of course. Again, the masculine strength moving forward in this 6th house of, working together, of public service, of the work that needs to be put in, because the 6th house is ruled by Virgo, of course, and it's all about paying attention to the details as well as putting in the hard work to overcome these difficulties. What the universe is saying with this chart to me is that we have a chance now to get this right. What are we getting right here? We're getting balance. We're getting the balance between the feminine, the masculine. We're attempting to get that right. We're attempting to get justice. And again, justice to me is something being taken away, something being given back, so that the scales are perfectly balanced. So we've got this, I think what we saw in December with the astrological patterns where we had Jupiter and Saturn moving into Aquarius. We saw the start of this movement back toward being imbalanced. At the moment, we're seeing a huge divide, particularly in the US, between this kind of, I'm just going to say, this self-serving, divisive energy that has made itself known in so many ways. We're absolutely being able to see that very clearly. And this higher minded thinking. Now we've got the nodes in Gemini and again in Sagittarius. And in the 9th house, that higher mind bringing forward almost like, well, it's justice itself. The ideal of justice. And you'll find that Mars here is sitting conjunct with that North node. We have work to do. And, you know, we are seeing, of course, down here we have our Saturn in Aquarius, along with our Jupiter, and the 5th house being how we express ourselves, how we relate to others. It's very easy to concentrate on the negativity that we see in our world. But when I look at this chart, I see a lot of strength. I see Jupiter here forming a favorable aspect to Mars in that 9th house, Jupiter being self-expression and expansion. If we can only have confidence to step forward, you know, and express these higher ideals, I think you're going to see more of that. To me, this is almost the energies of the universe are helping us to do just that, to step forward, take on the battle, slay the dragon, if you like, you know, whatever, defeat the monsters within us. We're being aided by the universe and by the stars, if you like, if you are into astrology, to take on those big battles and put, in a way, through justice, through that higher mind, the law, universal law, put these things, I guess, put these energies into, first of all, transparency so that we can see them, and second of all, bring out the truth. So we've got work to do. We've got work to do, and we've got healing to do. So how is all of this wonderful, high vibrational justice, flow, balance, strong leadership, harmonious flowing between the divine feminine and the divine masculine, all those good things, how is all of that going to come about? Well, this chart is telling us we've got the work to do. We're going to have to, I guess a good example of that is what is happening in relation in the US to voter suppression. And now the civil non-profit organisations, the voting rights organisations, are going to have to take some of these unconstitutional voting legislation. For example, Georgia is passing, which suppresses particularly the black vote, are going to have to take that now through the courts, because this energy here is wounded, and it doesn't understand justice. It doesn't. There are many ways to learn. In fact, a viewer asked me the question: do we have to keep turning the cheek? Do we have to keep pandering to those that are unfair, those that do bring forward injustices? No, we don't. What we have to do is we have to bring the truth out. We have to do that with strength, and this is what this kite is giving us, or telling us, that it is, the winds are in our favor to do just that, to bring forward strength to make sure that our society is more balanced. And you know, we have, as I've been reading on the vaccine inequality as well. In Australia, I've been touching on what is going on, particularly between the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and that balance there. I've been touching on that. These are big issues, and of course the battles between the EU and the UK as well. Countries trying to hold back vaccinations from other countries. These are the tensions that bring us to a greater understanding of what harmony and what balance, what are the benefits that balance and harmony can deliver. What are the benefits, a greater understanding of the benefits of justice. It's almost like the universe is giving us the opportunity to find that out, and it will come with harmonious, I guess, universal spiritual help in a way, and it will also come through not taking our eyes off that ball in a way, not falling back into complacency, but staying with the momentum of recent times and building on that to create the society that we want. So 8, we have here Venus at 8 degrees. We have Chiron, of course, in Aries, healing the wounds, particularly of that masculine energy, which can manifest really toward aggression and abuse in some ways. We've got that Chiron at 8 degrees and the Sun, of course, at 8 degrees 18. Neptune and Mercury here are interesting. Neptune, of course, is in Pisces, as is Mercury. Mercury in that, just in that 5th house, depending on what software you're using. You can have your charts look a little bit different, but they're very close together. We've got this conjunction here between the two, and we've got this, I guess, square up to Mars in Gemini. So we've got, again, this interplay between, and again, this is the 8 code as well, this interplay between the material and the immaterial, between the spiritual and the earthly. And of course, this expression is being played out, Mercury in Pisces, expression of those universal concepts, of those collective concepts, of those spiritual concepts. And Mercury, of course, in the 6th house here, the 6th house of public service, of work, highlighting and health, highlighting what is wrong with the way we've been doing things. Again, what is an unhealthy way of expressing that divine masculine. And how are we going to get, in terms of the roadmap, how are we going to get there? We're going to get there through the North Node is in Gemini, through applying logic. Here it's sitting in the 9th house, applying logic, listening to the science, objectivity over subjectivity. I said to my partner the other day, the next time someone has a political argument with me between right versus left and capitalism versus socialism or whatever, this politician said this and they're right versus, this snowflake. The next time somebody goes down that track, I'm going to say, stop being so superficial, because we've got these huge energies of universal, I guess, the drive toward reunification at the collective level. And we're going to do that through expressing our higher minds, our higher ideals, nothing superficial, in terms of those base arguments that you might have over the Christmas table with your family. We're being challenged to look deeper, to go deeper, to be fair, to stop ourselves going down that track there. And Sagittarius, again, sharing the learning in a way that brings people along with us, that doesn't divide. So we're very much going to see here we have the collective, the 12th house, justice for the collective. We're very much going to see contrasts here. This is what, if you look at this chart from a spiritual point of view, this is what is intended. Very much looking at this through the glaring, in some cases, brutal truth, and from that, understanding what it will take and what it means to be unified and to balance and have more harmony between that divine feminine and that divine masculine. So quite an astounding chart. I just want to go to, if I can, what else have I got here? Yes, we'll just take a quick look at Washington, if I've got the time. The Washington chart, the full moon at 8 degrees 18 in Libra, obviously in that third house of communication, directly opposite this 9th house here, this stellium 888. Uranus, I might add, in Taurus, in the 10th house of the masculine. Taurus being determined, very determined, and can sometimes be resistive as well. So look at this, 88888. It's quite rare to have a chart as powerful as this. The polarity, of course, is with Scorpio in that 4th house of security. So again, gun issues in America. What will it take? What will it take for common sense to prevail? We are going to, unfortunately, probably see more acts of violence as we go forward. Domestic terrorism is an issue, not just in America, in Australia as well. In fact, some extremist neo-Nazi terrorist groups, I'm going to call them that, are trying to recruit and get a foothold in Australia. But we are seeing this. We are seeing this. And of course, we're not turning the other cheek. We are having to bring forward, and this is where we don't take our eyes off the ball and be complacent. We are having to pursue justice. We are having to talk about this. We're having to see this. We're having to look at the big techs and their role in allowing others to pursue violent agendas. We're having to see this, and we're going to have to make some decisions in order to heal our society, to bring it back into balance, to bring it back into flow. Now, the other chart that I wanted to show you was Sydney. Because in Australia, as I said, we very much have this movement here, this Libra, of course, the moon in Libra falls in the 7th house, which is ruled by Libra. So bringing through, I don't want to call it conflict. We've had women's marches, marching for justice. Women are coming together in order to see that justice is done. Now, of course, the 1st house, identity. What is the identity here? Challenging the position of those in leadership, that there's not equal representation. Women are I mean, this is the 7th house, can be conflict resolution, mediation, but it can also be open enemies as well. So women are declaring that they won't put up with this anymore. And this is not going to go away anytime soon. We're being given a chance to heal. And if you look at the polarity here, we have belonging. You're in the house, the 2nd house of belongings, possessions, Uranus in Taurus. The polarity here is in the 8th house, Scorpio, endings, rebirths, transformations. We are being given, particularly with the Saturn and Jupiter here in the 11th house, again of society, if you like. Pluto making a harmonious angle here to Mercury in Pisces. It's our inner knowing, if you like. We're being given an opportunity here to transform society and make it into what we want it to be. However, it doesn't come about through waving a magic wand. It comes about through agitation, advocacy, protesting, and indeed through the courts. So there are no simple pathways to a society that is far more just. Let me just bring this up here to full view. Oops. Let me just bring this. Oh, sorry. Stop sharing. Stop sharing and it'll come back to its full view. Yeah, so the road to the society that is just, that is fair, that works for the collective, is not going to come from waving this magic wand and just hoping that it'll be this way. It will come from hard work and going out after what we want. And in all of those charts I see in different countries, and again, the universal chart for us, for the collective, I see that there is wind behind our sails. The universe is providing us with that momentum to move forward. So I'm just going to pull, what are the opportunities? Because I'm a glass half full person, as you know. That's a Sagittarian trait. I've got a lot of houses in Sagittarius, and you know, we tend to want to look at an optimistic view. Well, I do anyway. What are the opportunities? What are the opportunities of this full moon? I'm using my Druid Tarot, Druid Craft Tarot. What are the opportunities of this full moon? What are the opportunities of this full moon in Libra? Opportunities, please, of this full moon in Libra. Okay, let's just take a look. The 10 of Cups. So, you know, again, we can apply society. We can take a societal view, but we can also take a more of a micro view, the family and the individual as well. And this is about unconditional love. The phrase that I woke up with this morning is a phrase that one of my astrologer friends always says to me, and it's all about love. She says, whatever the situation is, you can track it back to love, whether that's defending the self through love of the self, or whether that is acting in a way to protect a loving relationship, but it may not be in the best interests of a third party. There's always a loving reason at the heart of everything. So if we look at the divine feminine and the divine masculine, this could be the divine masculine's way of becoming, or of coming into flow, of becoming more balanced, that we have to go through a lot of shadow work before we come out the other side in the way that we want to. So even healing divisions and disunity and aggression even is part of, is a pathway forward toward unconditional love. The challenge here is the Ten of Swords. So this is, you know, again, I talked about, you know, whether we turn the other cheek or whether we don't, and in what circumstances is it okay to take up the good fight. We have here the ending of cycles, and the ending of cycles, and of course, a 10 is about coming to the end of the road of a particular way of being, moving into a higher or a different frequency, a new start, a rebirth. And of course, if you look at what's in the 8th house of in those charts, you'll see that we're bringing certain cycles to an end. Let's see what's at the base. What is the foundation? And we have the 8 here, which is strength. So there is a strength, an underlying strength to this time. Leo, the lion, in this case, of course, we have the divine feminine taming the beast, strength. It's a gentle strength. The divine masculine moving toward an expression of strength that is gentle in nature, not violent in nature, gentle in nature. Okay, let's look at what's in the past here. The Princess of Cups. These are the revelations. This is the offering of the universe, of karma, of the karma of our times, is the truth, is to see things being revealed. And that contributes to the strength. Let's see what is in the sky. The 7 of Swords. Part of what is being revealed in many societal or civic situations is deception, clinging on to power through deception. But what is being revealed to us is the truth. That is what the universe is bringing forward. So while the lies can unseat us, let's not forget that there are many who want the truth, who want to live by the truth, who want to live within a justice framework. And hence the Libran moon showing us what needs to be revealed. Let's see what's in the immediate future. The 2 of Pentacles. We do have decisions to make. We have to, again, decide which ship is going to get safe passage and which isn't. So there are decisions around what we're going to tolerate and what we're not going to tolerate to be made. And we're juggling them at the moment, and we do have to decide at the end of the day. 2s are about decisions. In the here and now, we have the Knight of Wands. There is a growing movement wherever you look around the world to make society more just, whether it's in Australia with the divine feminine rising, whether it's in the US to protect their democracy against naked power grabs, a movement toward fascist way of governing. There are movements, there is work to be done. Unity, global unity around vaccine sharing. There's work to be done. And there are enough of us that understand that. Otherwise, this card wouldn't have come forward. We need to look at those examples, not be focused on the same old nonsense, just a different day. We need to look further. The 3 of Pentacles, there is work to be done. All of those planets in the 6th house. There is work to be done to become healthy, for society to move from ill health toward health. And what is in the hope? Justice. Here is Libra. This is Libra's card. Justice. Lady Justice. Balancing those scales is in the hope position, which means we've got that work to do to bring it to fruition. The outcome is the Six of Pentacles. The way we're going to get there is to make sure that everybody is brought along on this earth, that nobody is left behind. And the Six of Pentacles is giving and receiving help, helping others. I know there's a lawyer in America who fought so hard, Mark Elias, Democracy Docket, I can't remember his organization, but he spearheaded all of those, that litigation against the election fraud that the Republicans were bringing forward. And most of what he does is done from an altruistic, well, I would say all of what he does is done from an altruistic perspective. It's going to take many of us. It's going to take us all coming together to not just help ourselves, in a way that's what we're doing, but to help others. So we're helping ourselves through helping others. And this is what the truth reveals. Seven of Wands, defense. Defending. It's okay to take a step forward and defend others. It's more than okay. It's right. It's just. And this is what we're having to do. By the truth being revealed and the Prince of Cups coming together, coming to some kind of, ultimately, eventually, this is the pathway that the universe is giving us a nudge on to come together in that expression of the collective, what's good for the collective. We've got an offer here. That's what's being offered. At the base of the pack, we have victory. The Six of Wands, the High Priestess. Again, this is all in that Piscean area of the chart. Neptune and Mercury, we know what we've got to do. And we've got the Ace of Pentacles, followed by another ace. So this is the new starts after that ending of the cycle that is being offered to us. Wow, tens and ones. Okay, so this is the potential of those charts. And for those that want to look at this practically, you only need to see where the battles are in the major issues in society to understand how that Libran full moon 8-8-8-8 balance, leadership, justice, to see how that is playing out. So thank you for joining me today. Very much an intuitive channel read that I've given you with a look at the charts, and I'll be back again with another reading soon. So thank you for joining me.